Woman of silk cotton tree. I am exposed, naked in grandfather's studied indifference. He walks through me with ease. His one clear eye cuts me with such reckless abandon, I have to pinch my flesh to see if I am real. I feel disembodied, transparent. My nostrils begin to burn. Sweat breaks out on my upper lip, on the bridge of my nose, as my anger rises. But my rage feels impotent. My legs grow numb. I try to lift them, but they will not budge. I cannot feel my body and grow terrified. My screams echo off the top of high-rises, tornado through whole cities, laying them desolate. I stand still in the ruins, listening to the unearthly silence, wondering when my flesh will crumble and fall away, as if I had never been. Grandmother appears from the haze and smoke, a mountain lion with softly padded claws. Her clear, bright eyes reflect sunset reds, the mossy green of caves buried deep within the earth, the purple of mountains I have not yet climbed, and the warning streaks of a lightning storm. They will burn clean through street and bush to level everything. She licks my skin and I am comforted. My head nestles in her soft, downy bosom. She licks me raw with her roughened tongue, searing her words into my flesh. I am permanently branded with her meanings, remembering all our desires and hurts, our battered dreams, our past and future journeys, our blood-bought promises, our hopes for salvation, redemption. She implores me, none too gently. Remember my daughter, you have to remember this. Say it with me now. Banish and vanish and I will see the same thing. Spirit stronger than flesh. Nobody can just come wipe you out unless you want them to. Spirit you can teeth, but you can't kill. Repeat after me, my daughter. Woman is more than flesh and blood. Woman a silk cotton tree, inhabited by enough live duppy. Woman a sea ball hole. You can't sight of the depths of she, cause she runs straight out to deep ocean water. Woman a rock, stone, a river bottom. Remember every drop of water will wash over she. You need woman, not afraid of him, not afraid of none of them. Hold up your head and look at him good. See? I'm mad, and I try to mad you too. Look. So when pants are drop off for him, in my mouth I down. By the time my picnic, feel the day just round the corner. Feel the day must come. And since I read one for the women, I'll read one for the men of Jamaica. This is just an ordinary Jamaican man, regular guy, my uncle, that I call. The poem is named Ogun. Anybody here know who Ogun is? Understand the reference, the god of iron, god of war in Yoruba. Ogun, page 28. Uncle Miguel, slight of build, grain in his beard and hair, never took a day off sick, so most days could be found dipped in grease under the belly of a cheap Russian ladder. He could take apart and put back together any car. When I was 15, he built a bed for a truck from the axle up. I was convinced it would never run, and lived to eat my words. He took the engine, the clutch, and the gearbox from Mastom's long-defunct Leland truck that had spent its youth carrying market women from St. Catherine to Parade to sell long-stem Gros Michel bananas, yellow heart breadfruits, sugarcane, and sweet jelly coconut. The truck was living out its retirement under the mango tree, home for spiders and lizards, enjoying a second career as a planter box for seedling mangoes, love bush, and diverse wild plants, happily rusting away. Glad to be free of loud talking market women and idle, spliff smoking side boys. Other parts he hunted far in far-flung districts and piece by piece put the truck together like a quilt. If I close my eyes, I still see the bright blue flames dancing from the blowtorch, melding metal to metal. When it was almost finished, it looked like a dog with mange, with its multicolored doors and pitch patches everywhere, but sanded, primed, and painted a fresh bright red with yellow flames on the sides. It purred like the kitten I wanted to take to school, to watch the envy of the kids with money as I staked my claim on what could be had without money. But that was almost 20 years ago. Nowadays, the village drivers bring him cameras and Hondas. He welcomes the change, the ease, but finds little challenge and even less earnings. Newer cars mean less work for him, so he spends more time in the fields than he used to, and these days he's less opposed to travel and foreign than when business was good. Then, when business was good, he'd leave his house in the hills every morning to come down to work at his garage, my grandmother's yard, always full of cars, grease, and laughter, loud-talking men drowning out my soft-spoken uncle until you heard his low chuckle and trademark, yes, man. Boys were initiated into manhood in my yard, inhaling Cravenet and guzzling warm red stripe beer while they learned how to make a honest living and even how to run a boat, making a fire under the jackfruit tree and cooking white flour dumplings as big as wheels with ackee and saltfish swimming in coconut oil. There was metal everywhere. I could even taste it on the tongue of my first boyfriend, feel it rubbing cold and comforting against my skin as I savored my first red stripe beer-dipped kiss under a sky so bright, so close, I could trace the Milky Way with my fingertips. I still have scars on my legs from bumping into car parts in the dark. Even in the garden, old axles and rims competed with my mother's Crotons and Joseph coats. Respected by men, loved or resented by women, Uncle Miguel remains a man of contradictions. He disliked short haircuts but would never wear locks, believing one don't have to dread to be Rasta, and earned the title Jamaic from that large following of boys he mentored, boys he taught to drive and fix cars, giving them alternatives to farming since teaching and preaching jobs were few and already taken. Those boys are men now, some in their 40s, some in their 50s, some scattered abroad in New York, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, East London, LA, Toronto, or the few who remained in the village with him. On my last visit to Jamaica, I watched him cradle his granddaughter on his lap, rocking her back and forth as he watched a cricket match on TV. And it came back to me how he'd raised 4 children alone when his wife left, made sure they all got a good education and went to church on the Sabbath, and still found time to care for the children his sister left behind for the greener pastures of New York. As I watched him rock, rock, rock the little girl who was drifting to sleep in his arms, I was thinking, when I was a teenager, I used to think you were so serious, so strict with me. You'd chase me home, tell me to pick up a book if you caught me at a dance, scowl when I got chummy with a village boy, but there's a tenderness in you that I've always felt, a closeness I cannot put my finger on. He interrupted my thoughts as if he had been reading them and told them this story, and told me this story, just like this, when he was a baby. This is how I used to put you to sleep. Remember that big rock that used to be down by the gate? Well, every evening after dinner, I used to take it from your mother and carry it down to the gate where me and my friend them used to meet. All your father took. And I used to rock you, rock you, rock you, just like this, till you fall off to sleep, just like this. So here it is, there it is, I thought, as I stepped outside onto the veranda, breathed in the crisp night air and slowly exhaled, clearing my eyes to make out the night garden of metal, casting familiar shadows, but no longer competing with my mother's Crotons and Joseph's coats. Old cars stored beneath the mango tree to be stripped of their useful parts, unmarked taxicabs on cement blocks awaiting a part from Kingston, car parts looming like grotesque iron branches, a garden of strange-shaped foliage, blooming like jasmines perfuming the clear St. Catherine night, and the steady blue flames of the blowtorch, homage to a goon, smelting it all together.